Okay, so for this video, we are going to discuss example for C and D, the second pattern. All right. So after thinking of it, I'm going to discuss part D with you. Part C you try on your own. Part C is easier. All right. So part D is harder. Okay. So to save time, I already sketched a graph first. Okay. So maybe before that, we have a look for the question first. So we are having modulus x plus 2 smaller than 3x. So this is the second pattern because you can see that after I do some simple adjustment, right? Okay, you'll see that my equation is actually second pattern where I have modulus on the left and then right hand side has no modulus, but the right hand side got x with the x. Okay, so this kind of question is second pattern. So if you want to use graph method to solve it, of course you need to draw two graphs. Right? So the first graph that we are drawing is modulus x. So the modulus x, I put it in purple color. The V shape is the modulus x. Okay, and then I reflect the graph here. So that's why this one I label it with green color. So to let you know that this is a green color part. Okay, the reflected part. Okay, and after that for 3x minus 2, I actually draw it by using the red color. Okay, so after I sketch the graph already, then I'm going to look for the intersection point. So again, where's the intersection point? This is the intersection point, and I want to know where is this intersection point. We have only one intersection point here, right? Okay, so for this example, this particular one intersection point, it is intersect between y equals to x and also y equals to 3x minus 2. So to get the coordinate, you let x equals to 3x minus 2. Okay, so you're having 2 equals to 2x, and then you're having x equals to 1. So that means this particular value is actually a 1. Okay, all right. Then after you know this x coordinate already, then now you want to decide where do you have the inequality of modulus x smaller than 3x minus 2. Okay, so you want to find it out now. Okay, so to find it out again, you need to hide one part of your graph. Okay, so let's say this is the intersection point, right? So I will hide it. Okay, so just now I already realized that I can bring this front of the text. Okay, still cannot. And this one I bring it back, cannot send to back. Okay, still cannot. Okay, never mind. Alright, so again, I just want you to focus on the part with the graph here. Okay, ignore this whole part. Okay, cannot. Okay, never mind. So if you refer to this part of the graph, okay, so again, to decide the answer, you need to know what do we need first. You want to have purple color. Okay, so purple color smaller than red color. Yeah, purple color smaller than red color, which means purple color lower than red color. Okay, so if you look at this part of the graph, purple color is above the red color, right? Purple color is above the red color, which is not true, correct or not? Because you want purple color below the red, so now purple color is above the red. You can see that or not? Purple color on top, red color at the bottom. Alright, so this is not the answer, part of the answer that we want. Okay, so maybe you can shift to the other side of the graph. Then now we focus on this part now. Okay, so again, you want purple color smaller than red color. Okay, so purple color. Okay, maybe I extend the red color a bit so that you can see clearly. So for this part onwards, you'll see that the purple color is actually below the red color on top, purple color at the bottom, right? So which means purple color is smaller than the red color, which means that this part is actually fulfill the inequality that I want. Okay, so to write out this part, the answer is x greater than 1. So for x smaller than 1, the answer is not true. Then x greater than 1, the answer is correct. Therefore, your final answer is x greater than 1. Okay, so this is by using the graph method. Okay, so again, to me, this is a very good method because, again, you need to sketch graph. All right, so it might be very time consuming. Okay, but to me, this is a very good method for understanding. Alright, so from here, if you know how to look at the graph, then you can decide very clearly. But of course, before you decide your final answer, you need to find out the intersection point first if you want to use the graph method. Right, the previous video also the same, right? I show you how to find the intersection point first. Then after that, only you check part by part and see which part fulfill the inequality that you want. Okay, so this is what you have for method number 1. Okay, then now, usually for this question in exam, right, I'm going to use this method, method number 2. Okay, so for method number 2, what I do is again the same thing, modulus x, I move the number to the other side, which means it becomes 3x minus 2. Okay, alright, so in the exam, what am I going to do is that I will square both sides. Okay, so after I square both sides, okay, I will have 8x squared minus 12x plus 4 greater than 0. Then if I simplify it, I will have this. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so after you get this quadratic inequality, you need to factorize it. Okay, but after you factorize it, right, don't use the method that you learned before to get the answer. Okay, because for this pattern, it is always very special one. The final answer, you need to double check and see which is the answer that you want. Okay, so for equation also the same. Alright, for equation with modulus, one side got modulus, the other side have no modulus one. The method that I show you also need to check to find the answer. So same thing happen for this. Okay, after I square the both sides, and to get the answer that I want, I cannot apply the inequality method. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to check part by part. Okay, part by part for all this. Okay, so now for the first part, we will look at this one. This part means that x is smaller than half. Okay, how I get the half? Actually, 2x minus 1 equals to 0, you get the half. How I get the 1? So x minus 1 equals to 0, you get the 1. Okay, right. So for this part, the yellow color part, it is x smaller than half. Okay, you have to get the answer. So how to check again? Okay, so for this part, right, so for this part, for x smaller than half, I can use any value smaller than half. So maybe you can use x equals to 0. Okay, all right, so when you are having x equals to 0, put it into this whole equation here. So that means you're having 0 smaller than negative 2. Is it true or false? This is false, right? Okay, therefore that means this part is not the correct answer. Okay, so this part is, there's no correct answer in this part. Okay, then now we move to this part. So the next part will be from here until here. Okay, so for this part, it is actually between half until 1. Okay, then you can use any value that you like. So you can use maybe x equals to, this is 0.5, this is 1, right? So you can use 0.75 if you want. Okay, all right, so substitute x equals to 0.75 into this inequality, original inequality. Then you will have 0.75 smaller than 3 times 0.75 minus 2. So you get 0.25. So is this inequality correct or not? It is also not correct. So that means this is also not the answer that I want to get. Okay, from this part. There's no correct answer from here. Okay, so this is for second part. And then now we proceed to the third part. Sorry, this is the second part. Okay, then now we proceed to the third part. So for the third part is this one. Okay, so for this third part, when you write it up, it should be something like x greater than 1. Okay, so to check, you can use any number which is x more than 1. So maybe I can use a 2. So again, you use equals to 2, substitute into this equation, then you have 2 smaller than 3 times 2 is 6, 6 minus 2 is 4. So 2 smaller than 4, this is correct. So which means this part of the answer is correct, and therefore your final answer, what you want to accept is this one, this part. Okay, and therefore your answer is x greater than 1. Alright, so for this second pattern, you want to square both sides, you need to double check to get the final answer. Okay, you cannot just use the normal way of inequality, quadratic inequality, how to draw the number line and graph and to solve it. No, you have to check it part by part. Okay, so this is a bit special. Okay, so the answer is x greater than 1. Okay, so in exam, if you want to use this method, right, generally you no need to show all the checking part here. But of course, you still need to check in the exam, but you no need to write all this checking part. Okay, no marks will be given for this. Understand? Alright, but you need to show them what is the correct answer of the final one. Okay, then square both sides of all the steps, how you factorize everything, you still have to show, and then write out the correct final answer. Okay, so this is what we have for method number 2. Okay, so for this second pattern, generally both methods also not so easy, because first method for graph, you can see the answer from the graph very easily, but the process of drawing graph is a bit long. Okay, then for method number 2, square both sides is quite easy, but the process is a bit long for checking answer. So it depends on which one you prefer more. Alright, so this is what we have for our second pattern. Okay, so I hope that you have no problem for this. Okay, then now we straight away proceed to the third one. Okay, so for third pattern is both sides also got modulus function. When both sides also got modulus function, then this is the graph that I have. Okay, so to save time again, I already sketched the graph out. Actually, you need to spend some time to draw this. Okay, so these two parts will be the reflected graph. So I label it in green color, and then these two are the positive one, original graph. Okay, so again, to use the graph method, the very first step is what? You need to find out the intersection point first. So you have the first intersection point here, where this intersection point intersects at both reflected line. So I'm having 3 minus 2x equals to 2 minus x. Okay, so I will try to solve it down. So I'm having x here, then this one is 1. Therefore, this is 1. And again, my graph is not so nice because you see my graph didn't show here, but actually the x should be a 1. Okay, then for the second intersection point is this one. So if you look at this second intersection point, it intersects at y equals to 2x minus 3 and also y equals to 2 minus x. Okay, so to get the equation, I will have 2x minus 3 equals to 2 minus x. So you have 3x equals to 5, and therefore x equals to 5 over 3. Okay, so this is what I have for my intersection point. Okay, then now I want to know, okay, so which one is the correct answer that I want? Okay, so again, x minus 2 modulus, I draw it by using red color. Okay, so maybe I put it by using red color here. So this is a red color graph. And then 2x minus 3, I draw it by using purple color. And therefore, this is the purple color. So according to the question here, they actually want red color higher than purple, or red color greater than purple. Okay? Alright, so you have two intersection point here, right? So for the first part, you need to check. Maybe you can start from left hand side. So you maybe cover off this part. Okay? So you now only focus on here. Yeah? Alright, so when you focus only on here, this part of the graph, you will see that red color is below the purple color. So purple color on top, red color at the bottom. So it is not the answer that you want because you want red color higher than purple, right? So for this part, you're having purple higher than red. So this is not the answer that I want. Okay, then after that, I check the second part. So the second part is I cover the left-hand side. I also cover the right-hand side of the graph. Cover the intersection point. Okay, so the second part is quite small, only this part. Okay, so what is this part here? Right, so if you look at this part, you will see that, okay, the red color is on top of the purple color. So you can see purple color is at the bottom, red color is on top. So we fulfill the inequality, red color more than purple color. So that means this is actually the part that I want. Okay, this is actually the answer that I want. To have red color more than purple color. Okay, then how about the last one? So the last part, what are we going to do is that we have to check the cover off. Then we check only on this part. Okay, so for this particular part, you also can see that purple color is on top of red color. So that means this is also not the answer that you want. Okay, so the answer that I want for this question is only the highlighted part here, which is in the middle. So how are you going to write out the answer? It is between 503 is larger, right? So this one is actually a 1. This is actually a 1. And then this is actually 5/3. Okay, so that means your answer is between 1 until 5/3. Okay, so this is how you draw a graph and decide what is your final answer by using graph method. Okay, so this is method number 1. Okay, so again, you need a longer time to sketch the graph. And then for me, I want to save time, so just now I already sketched it out for you. Okay, so if no problem, then we proceed to method number 2. So in the exam, usually when I see this kind of question, what am I going to do? Okay, so in the exam, when I see this pattern, side also got modulus 1, what will I do is like, I will straight away square both sides. Okay, so square both sides, I will have x squared, we expand it. Okay, so you expand it and then you try to simplify. Alright, so after you get this already, it is a quadratic inequality, then I will factorize it. Okay, and after that, previously we didn't check the answer, right? For third pattern in equation. Only second pattern you need to check. So this one is the third pattern. So the same thing applies. You don't need to check the answer, but you just apply the normal concept that we learned before for quadratic inequality. Okay, so for this quadratic inequality, okay, I draw number line. If you want to draw smiling face or sad face, also can, up to you. U shape or N shape. Okay, so this one is plus, minus, plus. So for this inequality, I need minus, negative. Therefore, this is my answer. Okay, and I can write the answer by using the number line method. So it will be 1 until 5/3. Okay, so for me, this pattern, I will always use method number 2. That means I will always square both sides and then use the number line method to get the answer. Just for pattern number 2, I will also square both sides. But when you come to this part, you cannot use number line. Second pattern is a bit special. You always need to check the answer part by part. Okay, so this is what we have for all the different patterns with different methods. Okay, so in exam, I will use this. I will not draw graph one. I will always put the graph as the last priority. But again, as what I said, graph is a good method for you to learn up all the concept, understand how you get the equation and solution. Okay, because when you square both sides and everything, right, actually you can't really see the process of getting the answer. But for graph, you can see very clearly. Okay, all right, so this is what we have for our example for E. Okay, so after this video, what you need to do is you need to try 2 examples, right? Part C and also part F. So the answer for part C should be x smaller equals to 1/3. And the answer for part F should be this one. Okay, so please have a try and see whether you can understand all this or not. Okay, I can get an answer or not. If cannot, again, please make sure that you ask me, okay, through the Facebook Messenger. Alright, so this is what you have for our modulus function. That's all for all the modulus function here. Okay, but again, because all these are something new to you, you basically need to practice a lot, okay, to understand the whole thing. Okay, so don't simply just straight away try the partial question. You might face some problem. So try some very basic exercises first. Then only you try out the partial question. Okay, after you understand the concept and the steps. Okay.